Hello there, audience behind the screen, Deon here, and welcome back to Deon Discusses. So, the Minecraft movie, eh? One of my fondest childhood memories was playing the video game Minecraft. You know, the one created by Marcus Persson for the Swedish video game company Mojang. It's a blocky world, and you can either try to survive or build whatever you want, using either survival or creative mode, as well as either spawning the iconic mobs out of eggs or running away from them. I played this game on the Xbox religiously as a kid, and while I don't play the game nearly as much today, if you're wondering, I've been busy, that's why. I still occasionally revisit Minecraft, and it holds a special place in my heart for sure. But of course, due to the game's popularity, it's inevitable that they'd want to make a movie out of it. Now, before we discuss the Minecraft movie, let's get into some other recent video game movie adaptations as a bit of a comparison. I've not seen every video game movie, but I am aware of one thing: their infamy. For the longest time, video game movies have had a track record of being bad, whether it's straying too far from the source material or just sucking in general. For years now, video game movies have been the joke of adaptations. However, nowadays, it actually seems like video game movies are starting to care about being good and faithful to the source material. A solid example of video game movies, in my opinion, are the Sonic movies. While they don't follow the games one for one, they manage to take the source material, yet also open the door for their own interpretation. You may just assume that the first film is yet another generic buddy comedy with the CGI protagonist and the live-action human protagonist. But I feel that they cleverly use this trope to focus on an origin story for both Sonic and Robotnik, whilst giving us a good look into Sonic as a character as the film eventually progresses into being more like the games, which is carried into later installments. That's pretty clever in my opinion. You're allowing for fans to appreciate the films for staying true to the source material whilst still being its own distinct interpretation, as well as allowing for newcomers to appreciate the story and characters in a way that eases them into said source material without coming across as alienating. On top of that, it makes sense that Sonic, an alien hedgehog from another world, would meet Robotnik, the human antagonist, on Earth. So I feel like there was actual thought put into this decision. In my eyes, the first Sonic movie was pretty damn good. It wasn't a masterpiece, but it did what it did well. And the second movie is really damn good. It's not perfect either. When Sonic and Tails arrive at the wedding, the pacing for a while really starts to drag. But apart from that, it's a fun time. I thought the Mario movie by Illumination was okay. Like, it definitely sticks more to the source material, and I think that being fully animated works best in a Mario movie's favour, but I just wish the movie had more to it. Here, they don't really do much to expand upon the stories and characters in a way the games couldn't do. Sure, you'd want to start off simple and not go too crazy, but the story feels rather underdeveloped, and the pacing is very rushed for the kind of story and world they have. Oh, also, they separated the bros in a Super Mario Bros. Movie, meaning that they sidelined Luigi. #justice for Luigi. It's funny, I'm more of a Mario person than a Sonic person. Don't worry, Sonic is definitely a close second. But I felt like Sonic's movies did more to tell a fully developed story with arcs, whereas this just kinda felt like a first draft speed run. It's a fun first draft speed run, but it's pretty underwhelming. I actually prefer the Angry Birds movie duology in terms of CGI video game movies. Because the world and story isn't as grandiose as Mario, they're able to still be simple without feeling rushed. Plus, I also feel like the characters in the Angry Birds movies are somewhat more developed and interesting in comparison. Oh, and both movies are funny. But hey, at least I liked the Super Mario Bros. Movie, which is more than I can say about the Five Nights at Freddy's movie. I watched it with my mum, and she thought it was shit. As for me, I kinda felt the same. It's not a horrible movie, but boy does it reek of being a modern horror movie released by a studio that has released a number of horror movies people think are shit. Five Nights at Freddy's just felt so generic and mainstream. It's too boring to be a fun flick, and it's too tame and goofy to be scary. Yet it doesn't fully commit to being corny either, so it doesn't really succeed in any of those camps to me. A shame, since the concept of being stuck in a restaurant with killer animatronics sounds like the making of a great horror movie. I know that the FNAF movie has its fans, and if you do like the movie, that's completely fine. I won't change your opinion. I just didn't really get much out of it. Back to our main topic, it looks like Minecraft is the next game to get the big budget Hollywood picture treatment. All these years, I wondered how the movie would turn out, and how they'd translate the look of the games into something more theatrical, with more expressive models, whilst still staying true to the original art style. I even made my own design of Steve back in March this year on my DeviantArt as sort of a what-if scenario on what an animated Minecraft movie would look like. So yeah, hearing about a Minecraft movie being in the works was really fascinating, and I hoped to see it become an actual thing, because this film was meant to be a thing for years now. Yes, the Minecraft movie has been in development hell since 2014. An entire decade ago. Through said development hell, this movie has gone through several different directors, including Rob McElhenney, the creator of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, writers like Jason Fuchs, and actors like Steve Carell, who, no, wasn't confirmed as the character Steve if you're asking, until finally setting young Jared Hess of Napoleon Dynamite fame to direct, Chris Bowman and Hubble Palmer to write, and actors like Jack Black, who I think may be on his way to becoming the video game movie guy, and Jason Momoa to star. And finally, we have an official confirmed release date for the 4th of April in 2025. Damn. April seems to be a popular month for video game movies now, doesn't it? Heck, we even have leaked behind the scenes images, and filming has apparently ended in mid-April this year. So it seems like the Minecraft movie is officially, finally, ready to come out. But there's one little problem with the movie that makes me concerned. It's gonna be live action.
I'm so unbelievably disappointed right now.
And before you say anything, yes, the Sonic movies were live action, but I feel that this choice works way better than with Minecraft. Because, one, yeah, the characters do look cartoony, but if you make a few adjustments, they can work in live action without sticking out like a sore thumb. They're cartoony, sure, but they're not too stylized or simplistic. And like they're aliens, so of course they're gonna look like that. And lastly, we have seen Sonic in cities before, so the movie's doing this isn't too out of the ordinary. I would love to see an animated movie in the future, but for now, I don't mind this direction. In my eyes, making a Minecraft movie live action sounds like a horrible mistake. Minecraft is known for its distinctly cartoony, incredibly blocky look, so a fully computer animated film sounds like the perfect direction to take it in. But alas, that's not the direction they're taking it in. It's such a shame, because with stuff like Spider-Verse, the bad guys, The Last Wish, Nimona and Mutant Mayhem, computer animated films nowadays aren't afraid to look more unique and stand out from the norm. Both the Lego Movie and the Peanuts movie kickstarted this trend, and I am all for this new-ish era of animation. So in an age where CGI can look more unique than ever depending on the film, why not make the Minecraft movie animated? It's got a stylistically blocky look that would be perfect for this era of animation. Or heck, if you still want to commit to more realistic textures, whilst still keeping said distinct look, how about stop motion? You can still keep that crafty look, all whilst adding more depth. Plus, as far as I'm concerned, we've never gotten a video game movie done with stop motion, so not only would it fit the kind of game they're adapting, but most of all, it would stand out. But before you remind me, yes, I am fully aware about the tree props and set designs that have been leaked. They look fantastic and as if the game has come to life in the real world. However, that raises another concern. Having a blocky aesthetic alongside normal looking humans would just be weird. The humans would look out of place in this world, and the world won't have humans looking like regular humans, at least in universe. It reminds me of how the Barbie movie made Barbie Land look like a plastic set, with the Barbie and Ken dolls looking like real humans. But it worked there because, firstly, the Barbie and Ken dolls already look like normal humans and aren't overly cartoony. Secondly, Barbie Land itself doesn't look too blocky or stylized that the dolls look out of place. And lastly, since the film has stereotypical Barbie and Beach Ken going to the real world, they need to be portrayed as real humans. I don't know if the Minecraft movie is just gonna rip off Barbie, but I can see the final result just looking like a big budget Saturday Night Live sketch. The humans and animals in Minecraft are known for looking blocky and unrealistic, so why not embrace that? Oh, that's another thing. What about the creatures? How are they gonna look? Well, I imagine that a hyper-realistic CGI creeper would probably end up being horrifying for all the wrong reasons. However, there is one way I think could make a live-action Minecraft movie work, and I'll explain after some context. So basically, there was a news article talking about the director wanting to avoid an ugly Sonic situation. For those who have been living under bedrock, the Sonic movie's first trailer had a very different design for the titular character. That is because people hated the original design. The reason being that it did resemble Sonic, but at the same time, nothing about it looked right. It was more like an overly realistic knockoff, and thankfully the people behind the movie saw fan art of people trying to fix said design, and delayed the movie from November 2019 to February of 2020 in order to give Sonic's design an overhaul and have him resemble his video game counterpart more. The final design still looks a little more realistic than said game counterpart. However, said design still resembles how he looks in the games far more than how he looked in the initial trailer. So from this article, I can assume that Jared Hess is talking about the characters themselves. Well, Steve in particular. The film is creating new characters too for sure, and we don't know yet if Alex is appearing. Wait, where was I? Oh yeah. I assume that Jared Hess is talking about the humans and the mobs/creatures. Still closely resembling the games, whilst neither looking out of place in live action or being too realistic that they're uncanny, which is why I brought up the original Sonic movie design. It basically shows what happens when you're too realistic. And the improved design we eventually got in the final film is, in my opinion, a perfect example of how to stay true to the original design, yet neither be too out of place in live action, nor be too realistic. And hopefully Minecraft is able to strike that balance. So I have a theory. This film might be taking a more modernised approach of what The Dark Crystal did. The Dark Crystal had no physical humans in sight. Everyone is either portrayed via a puppet or a person in a suit. And I can actually imagine the Minecraft movie taking a similar approach to this, with practical sets being mixed with CGI for the environment, as well as the humans and creatures being mostly costumes and puppets, with CGI enhancements to them, which is kinda like a bigger budget equivalent to those game-accurate Minecraft cosplays you see online, and also basically a big budget version of what Strange Hill High did. Anyone remember Strange Hill High? Good show. Anyway, if done right, I think that this approach can work. it would still look like a more realistic version of the game, but it would actually look like the game. Just don't make it look uncanny, and who knows? But hey, that's just a theory. A Deon discusses theory. Anyway, that was my 2 cents on the upcoming Minecraft movie. I really hope that this ends up being good, because as I mentioned before, I grew up with Minecraft, and I hope all this development hell ends up giving us the best film possible, rather than being another Five Nights at Freddy's situation. So even if it does suck, at least Jack Black is here to carry this movie, much like he did with Mario. I hope you enjoyed this longer Deon Discusses. I'm thinking in between the shorter Deon Discusses videos I may also do some longer ones. So yeah, if you're interested to see more of those, well, I'll definitely make more for you. Anyway, I've learned something today. Something can either end up being a pleasant surprise or really disappointing, and I'm probably either getting my hopes up or being too cynical. But for now, goodbye audience behind the screen. Also, since Minecraft is being released by Warner Brothers, #release Coyote vs Acme.